Well, Marty and the band are back for another round of How to Survive a Mexican Cartel. I'll be honest, I am not a fan of Marty's and the family's decisions in the past, but they sure know how to stay alive, boy. Well, in today's video, I'm going to review episode 1 of Ozark and tell you why I'm extremely annoyed with Jonah. Episode 1 starts with Marty and Wendy in the car riding to music. There's discussion about an FBI meeting, and there are 48 hours to endure before it's all over. Then we see Marty swerve away to avoid getting hit by a semi. Now, I don't know about y'all, but what the heck was that truck doing in that lane? Let's watch this scene again because it's extremely sus. Now, after watching that scene, you gotta assume that there's something going on with that, right? Anyway, episode 1 then moved back to where we left in season 3. Omar's enjoying the party while Marty and Wendy wash off blood in the bathroom. Also, can I be real to everyone? This scene was really messed up. If you guys don't know, Marty and Wendy were on the brink of death, but Omar basically killed his right-hand girl for the sake of Marty and Wendy, who delivered on their promise to take out Omar's enemies at the end of the last season. At the end of the last season, I had to reflect on their decision, and I believe letting the laboring cartel take out Omar and his family might have been the only option. But I'll save that point for a later video. Omar calls them both celebrities after bringing down his enemies. Listen, when they walked out into the scene and everybody's kind of looking at them like they're kind of crazy, I'm like, listen, y'all, you guys gotta be clapping for these people. They pretty much saved an entire cartel from going down under, and you guys are basically just giving them the side-eye look. Like, they pretty much saved your lives. Then Omar introduces a new character, his nephew Javier. Immediately Javier wants to know what the plan is with Darlene Snell. He wants her to stop producing heroin. In a separate meeting, Omar tells Marty and Wayne that his nephew is impatient and he'll kill them all, including him, if he senses weakness. By the way, you guys notice how the directors love to give Marty and Wendy another boss-level enemy to fight? Come on, directors. You gotta give them a break. Easy to see that Marty and Wendy are now Omar's bona fide suicide squad, where Marty is Killshot and Wendy is Harley Quinn. This man is constantly threatening their lives, dangling freedom in front of them like it's a piece of carrot, and is constantly forcing them to forego any sensible decision for the sake of staying alive. I don't know about y'all, but they're in trouble, y'all. Omar wants Wendy and Marty to use their influence so he can walk away from his business and be able to move between USA and Mexico freely. Man, this dude is extremely greedy. Marty keeps his cool, but Wendy said it was impossible. It was at that point that Omar once again revealed how he felt about them. He then said this.
Not doable.
Okay, then why are you still alive? This is what I want. This is why I chose you.
I believe this theme of their value will continue to play a major role in this final season. Episode 1 then moves to Ruth, who's at the motel she used to work at. She ends up in an argument with the manager, Lorna, who fired her. Ruth has a meeting with the motel owner, Stan. She negotiates with him to buy the motel. Ruth tells Darlene that they needed the motel to launder money through it. They discuss percentages and agree to terms. This part is extremely important because it speaks to the relationship between Wyatt and Darlene, who are now operating like a family and raising a kid together. This kid is like 18 years old, raising a kid that is not his, managing a drug empire, and a crazy old woman who respects him to lay the pipe down whenever she barks at him to do so. It was at that point that I was like, yep, Netflix is really trying to keep my subscription coming. Then we see this guy, Jonah, who at this point is really getting on my nerves. Jonah is still hot about the death of Ben. In a future video, I'm going to explore the decision to kill Ben, but that scene was hella crazy. Jonah gives Ruth Ben's ashes and tells her he loved her. He doesn't think she would work for his parents anymore and reveals that his mother had been killed. Ruth reveals that she has quit Bird's business anyway. Later on, Charlotte finds Ruth in a casino office, so she gets security to kick her out. All I keep saying to myself when I look at this situation is the level of ungratefulness in this situation is absurd. Like, you gotta understand that Marty basically took Ruth in, saved her life, and gave her a purpose. Ruth was all over the place. But without consideration, Ruth immediately then decides to turn her back against Marty and Wendy. For what? And I get it. It's about a situation in terms of love, but we gotta understand and be able to see the bigger picture. When Marty and Wendy return home, they are shocked to see some windows smashed. Jonah explains he shot the windows because he was upset that his mother got Ben killed. Wendy attempts to explain herself while scolding her son, but Jonah does not feel there was a reason for Ben to be killed, especially when Helen ended up dying anyway. To be honest, I agree with that point, but it doesn't change the fact that Ben was a liability, y'all. They pretty much begged this man to make the right decision. It also speaks volumes about the power of self-preservation and what a person might do when faced in a lose-lose situation. And if you don't remember Ben, this decision was definitely a life or death situation. He was a liability, y'all. Then we meet Mel, who arrives at the family's home, and he's a private investigator. He's looking for Helen Pierce as her husband needs a quick divorce. Wendy leads the discussion to cover things up, but when Jonah interrupts and tells Mel to talk to Helen's daughter Erin, it was at that point that I looked at Marty and was like, bruh, close that door and have a man-to-man conversation with your son. He is hella disrespectful. All I thought to myself at that moment was either tell everyone to leave the house for a minute, or you need to move Jonah upstairs, lock the door, and make sure that no one leaves the room until the point is made extremely clear. I am not a proponent for violence, but this kid needs a whooping. Jonah is and will be a problem, mark my words. Wendy and Marty meet with Wyatt and Darlene. This is where it's revealed to the birds that Ruth has partnered with Darlene. Wendy knows that Ruth is laundering money for them. Marty and Wendy warn the trio on behalf of the cartel not to produce heroin again, but Darlene does not care. Marty offers a stern warning that the cartel's response will be brutal. And Wendy raises how Helen worked for the organization for 10 years, and they've blown her brains out, and those are facts, by the way. Darlene does not care and ends the meeting, so Marty tells Ruth to make Darlene listen, or they'll be killed. And he probably doesn't, but, based upon the relationship of what you've seen between Marty and Ruth, I think there's definitely a sense of care right there. Fast forward and the family's eating a meal when Mel interrupts their meal. He has a photo of Jonah pointing a shotgun at Helen, but Marty cuts him off saying it's family business. When Mel leaves, Jonah tells his family that he went to shoot her before she killed the whole family, but didn't go through with it. At this moment, Jonah walks out and his mother scolds him. Bruh, Marty, why are you watching your son walk out the door after basically telling you that there is nothing you can do about it? Someone please in chat tell me what would you do, because I know what I was ready to do. I was pissed. She asks Jonah to run her laundering, but he isn't sure at this stage of the chapter. But Ruth can tell he's about to turn. As we near the end, Marty is surprised to see Javi at the casino. Javi wants an update on Darlene. Marty warns him the casino's crawling with feds, so Javi suggests they go to his family home. Javi tells Marty and Helen that he initially wanted them killed when he first heard they disagree with Helen, but he accepts that his uncle has confidence in them both. You best believe it, these people have come through for 3 seasons straight. They've laundered your money, they've kept you protected from the feds, and they've also protected you from a neighboring cartel. Come on, y'all. The episode ends with an increased uncertainty in how things may play out. Jonah finds Ruth at the motel and he accepts her offer to launder her money. Man, oh man, this kid. Anyway, episode 1 ends with Sheriff Nix visiting Helen's house and Javi answers. The sheriff is looking for Helen after the private investigator visited him. What's sad about the situation is that the sheriff just followed his instinct and stayed out of the way of anything that resembles the cartel. He would have been fine. But Javi invites the sheriff inside Helen's home. He turns up the music and shoots the sheriff in the head with no remorse. Vicious. As the episode ends, Javi shows Marty and Wayne the sheriff's dead body and asks them if they own a crematorium. In the distance, Jonah sees his parents help carry the sheriff's body in the boot of a car. Now let me end this video explaining why I believe that this Jonah issue needs to be addressed immediately. Remember the scene at the start of the episode where Omar talks about his nephew? He makes a statement that I think is extremely important.
Your greatest threat will always come from the inside, Marty.
As you can see, Jonah is ultimately becoming just like Javi, or all the people in both Omar's and Marty's life. Jonah is being led by anger, frustration, and maybe even purity, as he is about to steal his father's technology to give away to the enemy, or rather to Ruth. Like, what did Darlene and Ruth do to earn Jonah's loyalty? This kid, man, I don't know about y'all, but this episode kind of got me hyped up and it's extra spicy. What are your thoughts about this episode, and what would you do if you were Marty at this point? Please don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and thanks for watching.